Good evening, here's the news. Good evening, here's the news.
Today, television seems to be producing newscasters who all look and sound the same. But one news team has never lost its personal touch.
Gee, you look kind of nice tonight.
I do?
Yeah, who dressed you?
Funny.
Because on Eyewitness News, we're as different as the city we report to.
Raj, please, don't forget to smile tonight.
I am smiling.
Terry Garr's new role, 7:30 tonight.
You know, Harry, your nerve has never ceased to amaze me. My wife and I are leaving.
But I only wanted the game to be more exciting, Ian. We never play for any stakes.
Yes, well, we're not about to start now, Harry.
Listen to me, Ian. You cannot afford to refuse my offer.
I just have, Harry.
Ian, this is the only way we can get that phone book. Now we have to talk.
Look, there's nothing to talk about. I've made up my mind.
But you can beat him, can't you?
Of course I can beat him. I've always been able to beat him. Harry's a hopeless chess player. It's the principle of the matter. With you as the prize.
But that's not going to happen. Oh, Ian, come on. You can quit spying and with all the money we can retire.
Oh, I know.
Well, if I can afford to take the chance, so can you.
Raven,
We accept.
All right, Harry. You're on.
My husband's going to play.
Well, Ian, shall we begin?
All right. I'll take the black as usual. You can have the white advantage.
Oh, no, my friend. Since you're such a reluctant opponent, I insist. You make the first move.
Well, you are feeling adventurous tonight, aren't you, Harry?
Yes, it's the thought of your lovely wife, Ian. Excuse me, please, one moment. William, could you come in here for a moment, please? I thought we might like some refreshment.
Oh, good.
Yes, Mr. Lavender.
Put some coffee on, will you, William? And make some of those small sandwiches. Make a good variety.
Yes, sir.
Well, then. Shall we begin?
All right, Harry. I'll make the first one easy for you. Pawn to King 4.
Pawn to King 4.
I've never seen you wear glasses before, Harry.
The better to see with, my dear. Tell me, Mrs. Devereaux, have you ever met the first Mrs. Devereaux?
No, I have not.
I understand she's returned to Monticello.
Have you been using your crystal ball again, Harry?
I told you I knew everything.
There we are. All right. And I shall simply do that.
Yes. Smart move. Yes, you should have met your predecessor, Mrs. Devereaux. She's a very attractive woman. I'm surprised she hasn't remarried. Perhaps she's still carrying a torch for you, Ian.
You know, you're talking a great deal this evening, Harry. We normally have a silent game.
We normally don't have an audience.
I could leave.
No, please, no. I'm sure you'll be an inspiration to both of us.
You're also making your moves rather swiftly this evening, Harry. Does that mean that you're overconfident?
Maybe I've been taking lessons, Ian. Maybe I'm no longer the easy mark I used to be. Maybe I'll even win this game. I can't think of a better reason to do so.
The Edge of Night is brought to you by Love's disposable diapers. Your baby's comfort begins with Love's. And by Tide. From ice cream to mud, Tide gets it clean.
How far does a mom have to go to get wedding kit clean?
All the way to Thai country!
Dressing for a wedding day.
But don't expect they'll stay that way.
There's an usher sitting on a supper.
Soft-on babies, bib and tucker.
Extra wedding kids need extra in time.
Just look at this wedding scene.
I ask you, will they
Ever get cleaned?
Go ahead and drop them.
Flash 'em, mash 'em.
Claim your spot.
Tide gets it clean. Tide's America's favorite. From soft to punch, Tide'll tough clean it. You've just seen it. Now here's your future grooms and brides.
Same clothes, same kids. Now Sunday clean with Tide.
Thai country!
Claim your spot, Tide gets it clean. Oh, the day we came home from the hospital. Daddy was so nervous, but he took care of everything.
Keeping these guys comfortable has always been important. That's why Cassidy wears Loves. It cradles him in comfort. We tried some elastic diapers that cost less, but they didn't all fit like Loves. Look, if the padding's real wide, it bunches up a lot between his legs. Now, Love's padding is curved like an hourglass to fit Cass comfortably.
When it comes to our little superstar, we won't settle for anything less than love.
Your baby's comfort begins with love, love.
What do you mean the chief wasn't interested in what Mitzi had to say? We handed you a suspect on a silver platter.
Wrong. All we got was something that may have turned out to have been some new evidence about Spencer Varney. And frankly, Cliff, considering the source...
The source? All right, look, Calvin, I know you and the chief and everybody else in this town thinks Mitzi's a little vacant, but she's not. She's very intelligent. She's very reliable.
Who's talking about Mitzi? I'm talking about the guy who told her the story about Varney, Gunther Wagner.
You're right. Those two didn't like each other. Gunther might have been trying to set him up.
No, it's more than that. Believe me, Nora had something on Varney, something that was so dangerous that he had to keep her working in that house, even though he would have loved to have fired her.
Yeah, according to Gunther, anyway.
Well, that's blackmail. In all the books I read, blackmail is the classic motive for murder.
Well, you can't disagree with that, Calvin.
I am not disagreeing.
Well, it's a seance, isn't it? You're mad at me for that. Look, well, that may have sounded like a stupid idea, but we got a lot of information from it.
It cleared up a couple of things, that's true.
Well, then you got the green light. It's full speed ahead, you know? Damn the torpedoes.
Cliff, don't you see? It's just gonna turn out to be another dead end.
Calvin, we're at a dead end already. What difference could it make?
Right. Spencer Varney is the last possible suspect.
You know what they say when you lose something? Never look in the last pocket, because if it's not there, you're gonna be awfully disappointed.
Come on, Calvin. I'm just trying to quiet Cliff down a little bit. You know, I've got to work with him every day.
Calvin, that's a favor to me. Will you talk to Varney? It's the last favor I'll ever ask.
All right? All right, I'll see what I can get out of the man. But just don't forget what I said about the last pocket.
You're right. It is something that Mr. Whitney wanted me to discuss with you, Mrs. Saxon. As you may know, he's been out of town for the past few days.
Yes, I heard he was back.
He did arrive earlier this evening, but he's out at the moment.
Well, that sounds strange. You don't suppose my nephew is trying to avoid me, do you?
I don't think that's the case, Mrs. Saxon.
Well, perhaps he just doesn't want to be present when we discuss business. I assume that's what this is all about, something to do with WMON.
That's the subject, yes.
Oh, dear. Some problem with the budget? Some dissatisfaction with the management?
No, nothing like that, Mrs. Saxon. I'm sure that you're aware that the station's been showing a very healthy profit lately. Frankly, I give you the credit for that.
Well, I seem to have found a friend at court.
It's because of your good management and, well, one other reason that I asked you to come here.
And I think I know what it is.
Do you?
Spencer, I am well aware that my nephew is selling everything he owns, converting everything to cash.
That's correct.
And since WMON is one of his properties, I see no reason to suppose it will be an exception.
You're right again, Mrs. Saxon. It is on his list. As a matter of fact, it's the last item on that list.
Well, then I should feel honored that he chose to get rid of me last.
He has been very reluctant to tell you about it, yes.
Now, let's not mince words. If you have found a buyer, and Schuyler prefers to think in terms of a change of management, then I'll understand that. Tell Schuyler I'll go quietly.
That's not what we had in mind, Mrs. Saxon. In fact, neither of us had thought that. There is no buyer. I think you know the reason that I asked you here.
Oh?
Yes. As I said, there is one other reason. I was speaking of your own financial resources.
Good Lord. Are you proposing to sell the station to me?
Personally, I can think of no one else who could do more with or for that property.
Then it was your idea.
Well, yes, but Schuyler had given me authority to sell the station to anyone who could pay cash. Now that, I may add, reduces the asking price considerably.
I expected to come here today to be fired. Now I find I'm being hustled.
It's just something I thought you might like to consider, Mrs. Saxon. And besides, if you did own the station, you wouldn't have to worry about losing your job now, would you?
Well, that is an advantage, I suppose.
As I said, it is a very good bargain. I do have some figures right here.
Mm-hmm. Spencer, did my nephew say anything to you about why he was so hungry for cash?
No, he hasn't, Mrs. Saxon. He asked me to start this liquidation process when he was in New York, and all that he continues to tell me is that he wants to stay loose or mobile. He wants to be able to move in a hurry.
Move in a hurry.
Excuse me. That might be him now. How was your dinner?
Lousy.
Mrs. Saxon is in the study. Would you care to speak with her?
No. Look, I'm gonna go upstairs and take a nap. There's only one person I want to speak with right now, and it's not Geraldine.
It seems there are more pain relievers around than ever, but there's only one pain reliever I give my family, and that's Tylenol. We've been using it for years. Tylenol has proven itself over and over again, but to us, Tylenol is more than just an effective pain reliever. It's a medicine we trust completely. One reason I trust Tylenol is because the hospital gave it to me after the birth of my son Chris 10 years ago. It worked then, and it's worked for the whole family ever since. Turns out, Tylenol is the pain reliever hospitals use most, and it has been for more than 10 years. Well, if hospitals are giving their patients Tylenol, it makes one thing very clear to me. They trust it. And that means I can trust Tylenol for myself and my family.
For relief you can trust. Trust Tylenol. Hospitals do. Tylenol, safety sealed for your protection.
When it comes to pain relievers, I know exactly what to do. I give my family Tylenol. It works, and it has our complete confidence.
I want you all to notice who's paying the check. Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi. Hello, Jody.
Cliff? Hi. Well, if you're all here for dinner, you better hurry up. The kitchen closes in about half an hour.
Well, actually, we just came for some coffee and dessert.
Yeah, we felt we deserved it after all our exercise this evening.
Now, what'd you do, go to the gym?
No. We went to the video disco.
Oh, there, huh? Well, Jody, how's Preacher?
He's fine.
You still mad at me for playing with the video? Why don't we
Cliff,
just run along?
Yeah, and let these people eat in peace. Good night.
See you later.
Good night. Oh, by the way, look out for the chocolate calorie special. It's Bill Gill.
You certainly were friendly, weren't you?
Well, I guess I'm a little tired. Like you said, it's a lot of exercise.
Well, we ruined the night for you, didn't we, by showing up that way?
No, not at all. It's a public place. You have every right to be there.
I don't think you mean that.
You're right, I don't. Because I know the only reason you were there was to check up on me.
No, not on you.
All right, then on Preacher. What were you afraid of, that we were becoming too friendly or something?
Well, I never knew that the two of you were dating until someone mentioned that they saw you together outside of the video disco.
Well, it wasn't at a motel, for God's sakes. It was right here having dinner.
Take it easy.
I'm sorry. I think what you're doing is
Now,
wrong.
you listen to me. I'm not going to apologize for what we're doing. We happen to be your family, and we care what happens to you. And obviously, the latest thing that's happened to you is this Preacher Emerson.
How did you even know his last name? What did you do? Have the police check his record or
Of course, we
something?
know his last name. He's one of the suspects in the beating of Barbara Montgomery.
And he has a police record.
It doesn't amount to anything at
Jody,
all.
look, you know, we're not normally the interfering type.
Well, maybe that's because I've never given you any reason
That's
to
true.
interfere.
You haven't, and now you have. And the name of the reason happens to be Preacher, and frankly, we don't care for him very much.
Jody, do you think that maybe your attraction to him has something to do with your rebound from your breakup with Gavin?
Like Gavin's rebound is Camilla Deborah? Here you mean?
If we're going to thrash this out, let's do it later at home.
Why do you have to be so quick to make judgments? I know Preacher is not all good, but he's not all bad either. And Gavin has his faults, too. He has a very hot temper.
Oh, please, don't compare.
He is also moody and downright rude. And Preacher, he can be very sweet and gentle when he feels like it.
What is this? What has happened to you? You used to be very perceptive about people. This guy is crude, he's vulgar, he's flashy, he's self-concerned, and he's probably even violent, too.
Well, how do you know that? He was cleared in Barbara's
I don't
case.
know it. I feel it. You can call it intuition if you like, but it scares me for you. For you, Jody. And that's why I wish to God you wouldn't see the guy anymore, in or out of the video disco.
Just because I rode away for a free bar of Safeguard doesn't mean everyone else can use it.
Give me a break, Dad. One try and I was hooked on the lather. Anyway, it's a free bar.
Yeah. Why should you be the only one who gets all that Safeguard deodorant soap protection? I tried it. I liked it. I need it.
And don't forget, the fresh scent.
Well, what about these soaps you paid good money for?
They just don't have that combination of rich lather and great protection like Safeguard does. Here, it's a little small.
Better a small Safeguard than no Safeguard.
See for free how great Safeguard is. Write free Safeguard, Post Office Box 8000, Clinton, Iowa, for a bat-sized bar coupon. Then watch Safeguard become the smallest soap in your house.
Would you believe I'm 25? Same here.
One of these skaters isn't 25. Dwan Smith is 37 with a family of 3. They both look so young. But do their hands look young? They do.
I've always taken care of myself, especially my hands. When these hands do dishes, it's with Ivory Liquid. The name Ivory has always meant mildness to me, so I know it'll be gentle. The rich suds help my hands stay young-looking dish after dish.
Have you guessed yet? Who's 37?
I'm Dwan.
You don't look 37.
Oh, thanks. I think the skating helps.
What helps your hands look so young?
Oh, that would be my Ivory Liquid. You know, you can't beat it for mildness. I'll race you, kid.
Mild Ivory Liquid helps hands look young.
Bishop to Bishop 1.
Why must you keep announcing every move I make?
Oh, I thought perhaps Mrs. Devereaux might like to keep track of the play.
Oh, don't worry about me. I don't follow chess well enough to know what you're doing.
I would have thought you would have taught this lovely creature how to play, Ian.
I did teach her. On the computer.
Yes, but the darn thing always wins.
At least a machine doesn't gloat.
Oh, it does, too. Every time it wins, it makes this stupid noise.
Oh, I think you should play your bridegroom, Mrs. Devereaux. I'm sure he'd be very kind to you.
I wouldn't dare.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He's not very kind to me. The slightest blunder, and he takes advantage of it.
Have there been any blunders?
Not as yet. You know, you surprise me, Harry. You haven't made a single error this evening. Usually at this point I have you in checkmate.
Well, I'm playing a bit more cautiously. I have a great deal at stake.
But you have nothing to lose.
No. Only something marvelous to gain. Why don't we take a break? Have some of those sandwiches William prepared. William?
You surprise me, Harry. You've never interrupted a game for food.
Well, your wife looks hungry to me.
It looks as if you're the hungry one, Harry.
William, is the food prepared?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll help you serve. Please, excuse us.
He looks hungry, all right. He's practically drooling all over the chessboard. What's going on?
No, it's not too good, baby.
Well, you're going to win, aren't you? You always do.
I can't understand it. Harry's playing with much more intelligence than usual. He's not making a single error. He seems to know everything that I'm planning.
But you still have to win. I mean, you won 12 games out of 12.
Yes, I'll win. I've got to win.
Maybe I make you nervous. Maybe I should go read a book or take a nap or something.
I have an idea for you, Mrs. Devereaux. Why don't you call home?
What?
Yes, I seem to have one of the few direct line phones on the island. You can call the United States simply by dialing 88 and then your number.
You know, that's a wonderful idea. I could call Geraldine and tell her how I am.
Yes, you'll do that, right? Yes, please do that, and then return and have some of these delicious sandwiches William prepared.
Well, maybe I'll just take a couple with me.
Oh, yes, please do. Well, in the meantime, I'll continue baffling your husband with my superior ability. William, show Mrs. Devereaux the phone, please.
Your aunt said to say hello.
Oh. So what did she say to our proposition?
She found our proposition somewhat interesting.
All right, Spencer. Your proposition, it was your idea. The credit means that much to you.
Well, I won't take any credit until the property's actually sold. She is considering it, however.
She'll buy the station. You can take my word for it. You know why?
No, why?
Because Geraldine is very generous. She can't stand the idea of someone buying the station who would let go all the employees that she's hired at WMON.
So the best way for her to assure that is for her to own the station herself, hmm?
Mm-hmm. You know what? It might be an interesting idea to drop a hint to her that some large syndicate is interested in buying the station. Some syndicate that might very well let everyone go.
That's very shrewd, Schuyler, but your own aunt?
You think it's plain dirty, don't you, Spencer? Well, I don't. I need to get rid of that damn station. Besides, Geraldine will be getting it at a bargain price.
And what will you be getting?
I will be getting cash, Spencer. Cold, hard cash.
Why?
Because cash gives one freedom to move.
You know, your aunt is very curious about all this as well.
What did you tell her?
Well, I didn't tell her anything. I told her I have no idea what you're going to do. Everything that you do these days is a surprise to me. Your engagement to Valerie Bryson was a surprise to me.
Valerie is in Switzerland. The engagement is off. I'll get it. Hello? One moment, please. Leave, Spencer, if you would. Raven, are you mad? Are you sure it's safe to call?
The most incredible thing has happened.
What happened? Where are you, anyway?
I'm in the Caribbean. I'm on this island named St. Andrews. I'm at this man's house. His name is Lavender, and Ian and he are playing chess.
You called me from the Caribbean to tell me that Ian is playing chess?
No, dummy, there's a bet riding on the game. If Ian wins, then Lavender's going to tell him where the book is.
You mean the phone book?
Yes, and Ian's going to win. Ian always wins. Ian better win.
I seem to have control of the center, don't I? Most unusual.
Very unusual for you, Harry.
Perhaps you'd do better if you ate something, Ian. You need strength.
I think what I need to do is this.
Knight to queen one.
Whatever shall I do about that?
Whatever pleases you, Harry.
I'll simply do this. Pawn to bishop 2. What is it, Ian? Ah, yes. You seem to be in check. What a pity.
How does she do it? Her hair always looks its best.
The difference is mink.
How does she do it? Her hair looks so silky, so different from the rest.
The difference is mink.
Mink Difference Hairspray really holds your hair in style. Enriched with precious mink oil, it holds hair beautifully and gives it the silky feeling of mink.
How could you give your hair anything less?
Mink Difference Hairspray.
You can bridge the miles between you and your loved ones with professional photographic portraits taken at Sears. Trust Sears Portrait Studio to create the quality portraits you want to save and share. Now through this Saturday only, Sears offers a package of 2 8x10, 3 5x7, 15 wallet size, and 3 portrait charms for only $14.95, including 95-cent deposit. Share a memory with a portrait from Sears today.
On Ryan's Hope.
You once said that you and Pat had a romance. I did? Were you lovers?
As Amanda struck a nerve with Faith. Ryan's Hope, weekdays.
Wait a minute, Raven. Are you really sure that this guy Lavender knows where the phone book is?
He seems to know everything. He used to be a spy. Now he has other spies working for him, and they sell him information.
And then he sells it in turn for profit. Is that what you're saying?
I guess that's what he does. But he says that he knows where the phone book is. He knows who took it out of the Octavian Club, and he's going to tell Ian.
If Ian beats him in a chess game, huh?
But that's going to happen. Ian always wins, and they've been playing for years and years.
What happens if on the off chance Ian loses? What happens then?
Well, then I guess Ian doesn't get the information. But don't worry about that. That's not going to happen. Ian says he's a terrible chess player.
Lord, you mean this nightmare might finally be over? I can't believe.
As soon as I get back to Monticello with the information.
I've lived so long with the idea of prison or running away, I just can't...
Running away? What do you mean running away?
I mean, running away, what do you think I mean? What do you think I've been cashing in everything that I have? So that if the whole plan fails, if Cameron shows up here with his agents, you and I are going to grab a couple of suitcases full of cash and get out of here like we planned to do in New York.
I have to get back to the living room and see what's going on.
All right, Raven, goodbye. Listen, honey, I love you. Bye.
You're sure about that? I'm sure, Harry.
And I am sure about this. Checkmate.
Butter? I thought we were eating lighter.
Not butter, and we are.
Then it's margarine, same old fat and calories.
No, 25% less fat and calories and less salt.
New Fleischmann's Light, the only one with 25% less salt, 25% less fat, 25% less calories than regular margarine.
Next, you'll say it's delicious.
Nope. You will.
It's delicious.
New Fleischmann's Light, for the lighter way you're eating today.
Great Pepsi taste. Diet Pepsi won't go to your waist. Oh, Diet Pepsi, 1 small calorie.
Great Pepsi taste that won't go to your waist.
This is David Hartman. Tomorrow on Good Morning America, more on the American Embassy bombing in Beirut. Also, the Boston Marathon winners. Wednesday, Dynasty's Linda Evans and John Forsythe, and country music's Alabama on Good Morning America.
Tonight, a man catches flaming arrows and a duck learns to read on That's Incredible. Then, she came back from the dead and performed miracles. Was it God's work or a trick of the devil? Resurrection on the ABC Monday Night Movie. Wednesday, you've seen it coming. Now watch it happen as forces of destruction set events in motion to bring the Carrington Empire to ruin in the season finale of Dynasty.
Tonight on ABC's World News Tonight, some states are making people on welfare work for their benefits.
And I have got my respect back.
But does workfare really work, or does it keep people on the welfare rolls?
You can't find a job just doing stuff like this. You can't do it.
ABC News, uniquely qualified to bring...
42nd Street, Broadway's all-time musical hit. Some seats available tomorrow night. Call Telecharge 246-730.
Good afternoon, I'm Ernie Anastas. Coming up today on the 5 o'clock Eyewitness News, a terrorist bomb attack on the U.S. Embassy in Beirut, Lebanon. 29 people are known dead and more than 100 people are injured. We'll have that story for you, and we'll also have this report.
Metro North riders are back on the right track. I'm Mara Walensky. I'll have the story.
Also, fire extinguishers for sale in our area that don't put out fires. In fact, they spread it. And the story of grandparents fighting for their rights at 5 o'clock.